We're going to start with the shaker here. And we've added a little bit of flange, stereo flange to it to create a wider stereo field, as well as to create a little bit of movement in terms of the tonality and pitch of the shakers. Now, we're not going to compress the shakers. And even if they were acoustic shakers, we may not compress them simply because the dynamics of shakers are very even for the most part. And the changes that occur with them are very natural, and we wouldn't really want to remove that. It's not important to compress everything. That's not the way to do it. And if you're doing that, you're probably going to have overcompression. So let's have a listen to the shaker and take a look at some of the flanging that we've added to it. Now, the role of the shaker in this particular tune is to help keep the rhythm without having busier drums. So the shaker is keeping the timing without being overly busy. We want it just loud enough to be able to be heard, but not so loud as it draws the listener's attention away from the main melodic content and the other very important parts in this song. Now, in terms of working with the flanger, you may have noticed, in terms of the speed or the rate, we're trying to keep it fairly slow because the tempo of the song itself is fairly slow. So we actually have the modulating that's occurring with the shaker working well with the tempo of the song itself. That's very important that they do relate. We're not going to compress it, and at this time we're not going to equalize it. We'll come back to that. Once we see how everything else is shaping up, we'll place that shaker tonally where we want it. Right now it sounds fine, so we're not going to mess with it. And one of the points we're trying to make here is it's not necessarily to overly process. Over-processing a track will end up in an over-processed mix. We want to keep an element of natural in this music and not make it sound just so overly processed where it doesn't sound like music anymore. It sounds like the recording engineer's job. We want to try to keep our job transparent while enhancing the music itself.